Hello. If anybody is already here, cool to see ya. I'm just getting stuff all set up and streaming for, just getting stuff set up, making sure everything works. Let me know if you guys are having trouble hearing me or anything like that. I think everything should be okay, but, always good to double check. Hey, Coogie. Good to see ya. All right. Awesome. Good to hear that you can hear. I'm gonna get some notifications going out as well, so that people on my socials know that I'm streaming. Honestly, that's the main part that I don't like about doing art stuff, is having to do all the self-promotion, Okay. Alright, posting that to Blue Sky and Twitter. There we go. Alright, things are all set up. Hey, Robo, nice to see ya. We're all just chilling and, remember to stretch. It's a good thought, because I probably did not a great thing for my body, and I went on a walk with my mom right before I took a nap, because I was just like, I know. Hey. Yep, I went and took a walk, and then got home and was like, I'm tired now, crash. With no work down or anything like that, so my body is not liking me for that. Just a little bit of a sitting there like, why did you do that? But yeah, I'm getting some stretches in. We're just chilling for a bit. It's honestly, the nap does sing a siren song, especially when you have a sleep schedule as BS as mine. Like, I work nights, but then on my weekends, I try to flip-flop so that I can have some time in the sun. And so I always end up, sleeping and doing an odd midday nap somewhere. Hey, Wildcat. Nice to see you. I do have a monthly stream. Just one. I do a little art request stream for all my patrons. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, for folks who are new here, although I suppose there's probably not many of you, the way that this stream works is as long as you're a $5 above patron, you get access to a form on my Patreon. You get to put in a request, and then I spin a wheel of random choice and draw the request. It's got a whole bunch of little rules about that are like in the form, so you can see. It's usually not a big, not a big piece of art or anything like that. Just a fun little request. I've got a kitty chilling with us here at the desk. She's gonna be upset because I'm gonna have to move her in a little bit so that I can actually draw. Poor girl. I have to put my keyboard where she is. Hey, Steve. Nice to see you here. I need to find a special way to keep a place for my cat to sleep on my desk. But not the most effective at the moment. My cat loves having her bed up on my desk, because then while I'm sitting here at my desk, I've got a free arm just to keep petting her belly. Unlike most cats I know, this one really likes her belly pet. She is a belly pet slut, I have decided. We're getting pretty close. Getting pretty close to stream time. About 2 minutes out. And I'm getting everything finalized. Whoops. Of course I accidentally minimized all my windows. Great. Great. Alright. I think I've got everything back. Yeah. She's a very good baby. My cat who loves belly pets is Mistopheles, and her brother Skimbles. He will offer the belly and then produce only pain. Like, he will lounge in front of you with his belly up and his paws like curled in on his little chest, and then you go to pet him, maybe get 1 or 2 belly pets in, and then he's like, death, murder, and tries to completely ravage your hand. Yup. Whereas Mistopheles, she just likes it. She likes her belly pet. In fact, like, she'll be laying there with her with her belly up. You'll be petting her, and she will like wrap one of her back legs around your hand to like facilitate more belly pets. Like, she will grab your arm with her hind feet, so that you have to stay in belly pet position. Alrighty, and it is 5 p.m. Officially time to start the stream. So let me go ahead and transition over. I'm glad to see you all here. Thanks for coming. For those of you who are new / don't know, this is my Patreon request stream. So anybody who's a $5 patron on my Patreon gets to put in a request to a form that's on my Patreon, and then I draw some sketches for it, and then I ink it after stream, just because usually I can only get a sketch in. So let's see who we have as our first victim. Whoops, that's way too big. Alright. So, currently, we have 25 responses. Awesome. Let me just up this number a little bit. And this forum is open through the entire stream, so if you end up joining in the middle and decide to put one in, I will refresh and double check how many we have before each spin. So, let's give this a spin. Hey, Quinn. Alright. Looks like it's number 17. Let's see who lucky number 17 is. Okay. Number 17 is Scuzz. And Scuzz says they want their Hoopa Sona tiffing Quinn into a rush around via cursed in on his hand now feather. What? That doesn't make very good grammatical sense. I'm trying to figure out what it means. Rush him via cursed in on his hand now feather with him getting hypnotized in a tail burst. My Hoopa largely hidden behind Quinn, but admiring the TF process and his new prize. Okay. So, sounds like we're doing multiple characters in this. Let's take a look at our refs. Okay, we got Quinn here. Nice, nice. Looks like you accidentally gave me Quinn's ref for both of these images, Scuzz. So. Let me just double check. Yep, looks like you sent me both the exact same reference. If you want, Scuzz, you can probably just DM me the thing. So, I have my DMs open, so feel free to just toss it in that. But let me get started with what I can do. Alrighty. So. I don't know about entry order on Google Forms. I'm very unsure about that. All right. Let me just reread this again. Be a cursed ring on his hand with him getting hypnotized and tail burst. Okay, how would I go about doing that sort of... How would I go about doing that sort of pose? Okay. And then... Here's the other image that Scuzz sent me. Okay. Let's see how I can... Okay. So I'm trying to just figure out what the best way to pose this is, because it's sounding rather tricky so far. Like, so we want a hoop going there, and because you mentioned the hand already transformed, and then we also want a tail burst, so maybe multiple hoops. Like and then maybe your character behind holding the hoop. Because also trying to figure out, let me pull up our Reshiram reference. Because Reshiram is cool, I'll give you that. But at the same time, it has a annoying tail. Very annoying tail. Very floofy, very annoying. So, but let's continue with his basics. Let's get the chicken butt in. Then I think I could do this. I think I can figure this out. Let's put this. Alright, so Reshiram legs. Got this kind of chunky shape. And they've got like circle and then weird bits plus heel bits. Yeah, Kuji, I saw your Angel Plague stuff. It's awesome. I really like it. And then this bit's got all the feathers. Oh. Just adjusting all the stuff. Okay. Let me think a little bit more actual shape language, because I'm looking at Reshiram and the other stuff. So it's got this sort of a chicken butt leg. In fact, it's got like a curve here, and then it jumps up like this, and then gets all winged and fluffy. And then there's also this like under feather bit. And then then this side all the way over here, like getting stompy with it. Yay. And then let's do more of an actual hoop. There we go. Let's pull up Quinn's human ref. And put some actual definition on the body. Sounds okay. I can probably do a ring around. I would argue against ring around the head, if simply because it's gonna mess up the. It's gonna make it very cluttered right there, because you've got one head, one person looking at each other, a whole nother character right here. I will do it if you guys insist, but it's gonna look. It's gonna look way too cluttered if we try and do a Reshiram head as well. Speaking of, before I tackle that, I'll tackle this silly fantail. Yeah, and you'll lose the expression a bit. Then this has got like a big old flame thing, as well as like this bit, and one out the bottom too. So, okay. Is that the best Reshiram tail I've ever drawn? No, but I think it's functional for the time being. Let's get an arm in here. Foreshortening a little bit, have it up in front of the face. And one arm coming down this way. That becomes a... Got this becoming a wing. So let me actually scooch this up a little. There's like sort of a proto hand here. I'm just gonna have the first few feathers. Because again, composition is very key to readability. Get this and mock it out. That way there's not a weird overlap there. Let's get Quinn's hoodie in. Oh, okay. Said I'm just happy. I'm reading your thing up here, Kuji. That says, meanwhile, I'm just happy with what I managed to do last night, which would be smart for you to think. I'm glad people are liking it as much as I do. It wasn't a tricky piece per se, just my motivation being the main challenge. Understandable. I get that a lot as well. It's motivation for getting stuff done is definitely something that can get in the way sometimes for doing art. A lot of the times, the main thing that I learned, I think that the main thing I learned in college when I went to art school is just the ability to kind of buckle in and be like, okay, even if the motivation's not here, I gotta show up. And so yeah, it's definitely something I occasionally struggle with too. So don't feel bad. It's pretty much every single artist that I know of has that feeling. Because yeah, half the battle is motivation sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta say, okay, it's time to screw motivation and just go for it. But again, and then other times you can just say, yeah, probably not worth it. Even if it was an idea that you thought was cool, it doesn't have to happen now. So you get to weigh out your motivation and all that stuff, and figure out where on that spectrum you fall. Okay, let me get started with heads. Oh, the shapeshifter host part specifically? Oh. I was thinking with the English pick, like a little special when the host is shapeshifter, it might fuse enough to make them fly capable or something. Honestly, sounds pretty interesting. I know that I really can't, like, as much as I'd like to build up my own little canonical universe for what Angel Plague is and can do and can be, I also know that, like, people are gonna play with it however they want. So if you think it could work that way, that's totally cool. I think that's a very plausible explanation for making stuff, for making your Angel Plague flight capable. Alright. Then let's get a basic face shape in here, because we want Quinn to be looking back. That head does not quite fit there, I think. Yeah. I think this needs to be like just a little bigger. Like, I've got it almost in the right place and space. There we go. That might be better. Select, deselect. Okay. Let's... I might need to up the... Yeah, I think I'm gonna up this to 600 so that we have a lot more space to work with and play around with. Alright. That way my lines will look a lot cleaner. Always go big and then you can shrink down with art. Because it's harder to go the other way around unless you're doing vector bullshit. Give you a back of the head. And then get some face in. And we and then the thing said you'd be hypnotized. So I'm gonna try and go for that like half groggy, half awake almost. Like just woke up confusion as to what's going on. Yeah, I suppose it does sound like good advice for a shapeshifter as well. Start big and go small. Control Z. I think this needs to be a bit bigger as well. Otherwise it doesn't match the other eye. There we go. That's a little better. I'm not quite happy with that. I want there to be like a little lift. But still droopy. Droopy and confused. Otherwise, it'll look silly. Alright. Let's get an ear in here. And then I probably should shape the face a bit better. Follow the ref just a touch more. A bit more of a chin. There we go. Okay. Now to get the hair in and a little bit under here. Now, Quinn, your hair in the ref always gives me a little bit of a quandary. Because the way that I'm parsing it, and I'm not entirely sure if it's correct, is as a ponytail, with some kind of Disney bangs. So, from what I'm seeing, it's parting along the side here, with this part pulled back. And then this part as a big set of like almost aerial bangs, I think. And the rest of this gets pulled back into a high ponytail. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be interpreting that entirely the wrong way. Cool. Good to know that it is a ponytail, that I'm not, like, completely off on how I'm seeing things. I'm gonna put the hair kind of like coming through on this side as well, make it a long ponytail. And then add some more wrinklies into there. And some of these strings coming down. Awesome. Glad to know that I'm getting it good. I'm gonna put the vague outline of this dragon under things so that you know it's there, but like not cluttering too much, and then I'll draw it more detailed when I get that done. Okay, there we go. I think that's right. Or at least that's feeling good. Let's pull back a bit. And now to pull up. Now to do this guy. Now to actually do the scuzz. Or the upper part of the scuzz. Got these big old meaty claws. Big old meaty claws. Hoops. And then sort of a little indent there to let people know that it's a kind of continuing back there. the way this upper body is shaped, got a lot of it like this. And get some floofy arm bits. As well as some floofy back bits. Some floofy arm bits over this way. Then get some horns going. Got a helicopter flying past me on its way to the hospital, which is nearby. And got a nice big poof in the front here with some little side poofs and stripy ears. I want a very mischievous grin. Well, let's get a little bit more side hair and side ear bits. Hoop, horn, it's not a great looking horn. I should probably chumby that up a bit. Let me zoom on out. Get body, interior body going. Maybe I have one of the hands over here holding this ring. There we go. And this big old ponytail. Alrighty. Last but not least, those little details. And it's looking a bit... I think it's looking a bit mushy, but it's not bad. I think this is a good place to start. What do you think, Scuzz? Since this was the one that you wanted, how do you think it looks? Alright, yep, best to move on to the next person on the wheel. Womp, womp, womp. Let me just double check, see how many responses we got. Okay, it's still 25. And we're gonna give it a good old spin. 18, so it looks like it wants to go right in a row. So number 18 is Batera. Batera says, I'm still a bit new. I was thinking I'd request a simple picture of my Naga guy. He's supposed to be the size of a normal snake, if there's anything you want to do with that. Aw, cute little snake guy. That's fun. That's very fun. It'd be fun to have like a little snake-sized Naga like hanging out with you and rolling around. Aw, I like him. He's a cool guy. Very fun. Very fun. So, my other question, is Batera here in the chat tonight? Even if they aren't, I'm gonna do their thing and hope they like it. Let's go for it. Get some free drawing space. So let's see, how would I... Let's see, what would be a fun pose for him? Hey, Batera. It's all good. It's all good. Trying to figure out a pose for your lovely little snake guy. So cute. I love the design. Lots of pretty colors. We were all talking about how he said he's the size of a normal snake, and that's so cool. That's so cool. I'd love to have a snake. I'd love to have like a snake person that's that size. Get to hang out with them, have them like curl around your shoulders. Maybe just sort of a fun snaky contrapposto. Something simple but fun. Maybe from a slightly above angle, like you're looking down on him. Ooh. That sounds like a fun setting. I'm gonna put this under layer on its own layer so I can play with the turn the opacity down and draw over top. So let's get some basic bones on him. And then the fun thing about snakes is just how squashy they can be when drawing. Like, you get to play with a lot of fun curves because they can twist and twirl up in lots of fun ways. only downside to that is that then you have to draw these nice arcing curves, which can be a little frustrating sometimes. But every art has its little bit of frustration, you know? Okay. Let's put some meat on the bones. I need to get my brush smaller. So, gonna go ahead and, like I said, just a little bit from a little bit of a top-down angle. Not an extreme one, but just enough so that you're like get a slight impression of looking down from a height. Alrighty. You stack this muscles on top of this muscles. And I put this arm here. I think I maybe need to pull this in a little bit. And then pull that out a little bit for hips. Make some appropriately sized hips. I'm not liking that lower arm. We're not vibing with that lower arm. I kind of want to put like a little thing that he's resting on right here. Yeah, that'd be cute. Let's see. Like, maybe like a little flower pot? Yeah, just like a little one of those little terracotta flower pots. Let me rotate my thing so that I can draw a nice circle. Or nice-ish. It's not a great circle, but it'll do. Yeah. I miss my Procreate program where I can make perfect circles and just hold them. Like, seriously, that's my favorite thing about that that thing, is I can just be like, oh, I want to draw a circle, and I draw a circle, and then I hold it for a sec, and it automatically, like, just snaps to being a perfect oval or circle, depending on how I'm drawing. Same with the line function. It's so useful, and I love it. Then I will of course clean this up in Procreate, so it will look nicer eventually. But there's a shitty flower pot. Maybe I'll do a little bit of crack. Just a little bit of a hole so it looks like it's a discarded remnant. A little bit of broken pottery. Cute. He's just sort of using it as a resting spot. And then we pull in. These maybe needs to be a little bit up a bit so that it's not like, so it's on a different plane than the, yeah. Just move all this up a tad so that we're on the right same plane as the flower pot. Now, coral snake. I'm going to write that down so that I can remember to look up the pattern exactly. You know, so I don't mix up my red before yellow type of thing. When I do go about, or well, I suppose I just need to remember the right sizes, you know? Because this isn't going to be colored. I do not have that amount of time, but I do want to make sure it looks like the image. Let's get some face going on. Get some face. Now, because we are looking slightly from above, we're going to want to squish things a little bit. Just a little bit. Like, when you're looking at things from above, the chin gets less area. Maybe not that much, but like. And I don't know why, but I kind of want to do like I almost kind of want to do like a DreamWorks face on him, like, you know, he's doing that sort of looking at, you know, like, really? Now he's got a nice Roman nose. So we're gonna wanna, not that extreme, but just from the character design, I kind of get almost like Big Brother vibes. Like he's looking at you a little disappointed. Like, really? You're gonna do that? I might be completely wrong, though. Or, you know, slight amusement. There we go. Let's zoom out a bit. Get some hair covering this front bit a little. And then let's
stripy stripes, as well as the side hair. Little scales. Maybe point this chin a bit more. And then, because we are looking down, we're going to be seeing into this scarf schnood scarf thing. Then band over top, as well as a decent amount of floof behind, and a ponytail, of course. That is a very messy ponytail. I need to clean it. Let's go ahead and clean this band up a bit. And I'm going to put some squiggles here to denote that there is embroidery of some sort. You zoom out a bit to make sure I'm not messing up the big view. That's not bad. Any advice for what to practice on doing trying to do TF art? Practice your, obviously practice your animal anatomy. Practice your human stuff as well. It's kind of a double-edged sword of, you have to know how to do both so that you can kind of guesstimate what would be transforming into what. I find myself using a lot of what's the word? I like to look at those comparative anatomy type stuff. It helps a lot. That and yeah, honestly, just practice your basics. Look at comparative anatomy. Get goofy with it. Because you can always ungoofy a thing. But you'll never know how much goof is the right amount of goof if you don't go full goofy first. You can always pull back. So push more before trying to pull back. Now we've got a couple layers of shirt. Or well, it looks like shirt and then like a under tunic type dealio. So let's put that on. And then under here is where we have the beginning of this belt and pouch situation. And then this wraps up around here. We're going to want to put this belt buckle on, but we don't want it to intersect with the tip of that shirt because tangents are bad, folks. Tangents are when two things accidentally touch, like that. When you're drawing, it makes it look weird and cramped. So when you can, avoid tangents. And then underneath, we've got this fun sort of scrappy cloth. Looks like it's got some stitching right there. Also, I am really intrigued by the world that this guy comes from. If you feel like it, I would love a link in the I would love a link in the Discord, just because I am intrigued and want to learn more. So you don't have to, but it sounds cool and I want to know. Alright, now we get some nice bracers on the guy. I should say his name. His name's Caden. I just keep defaulting to not saying a name because I'm very brain dead at the moment. If my general demeanor doesn't give that away. I am, like I said, just a bit brain dead, as usual. Oh, my cat girl gave a little sigh. She must be dying and need pets. Oh, poor cruel world. Cruel world where she doesn't get enough pets. Where she only gets fed once a day. And not every 12 minutes as she thinks she should be. Okay. And then I think that's got all my basics covered for this guy. For Caden. Say the name. Don't be dumb. Now I just need to fair. I was just hoping that there was more stuff, but it sounds cool if you ever do decide to make it into more of a full-fledged thing for other folks to see. Alright, now to get some basic rings and stuff on there. Gonna put some scoots on them. I think that's how you pronounce it. But that's what the belly scales on snakes are called. Scoots. Okay. It's big blocks with little skinny rings. Okay. That I can do. That I can visualize. big block color, then a skinny ring of yellow. Okay. There we go. Put some snaky nails on there. And I think I'm gonna call that good.
What do you think, Batera?
Looking good? I think it looks very handsome. I don't think I'm missing anything in particular. No, I think I got it.
All right.
Let me just go ahead and scooch up in some free space. And then let's go ahead and roll on another person. Roll another person. Spin. Let's see who's next. Okay, 22. 22. Who is you, 22? I'm glad you like him. You're very welcome. He was a very fun design, and I'm always a sucker for Nagas, so. The wheel is very high number focused today. Okay. All right. Looks like it's Radian. And I know that they'd said something along the lines of, I'm not going to be able to be there. Or back in an hour. So they should be hopefully back soon. It says, okay, maybe someone exposed to multiple instances. Someone exposed to multiple instances of a character TF goo, and that's having unintended side effects. Maybe a bit of cute, silly, maybe some body horror. If that's too ambitious, maybe Radiant TF of choice or Pixel or Medley being cuddly with someone else. Maybe because Radiant, I think you kind of are. I think you're kind of trying to add all your ideas into one thing. I do think in future gonna need to be a bit clearer. So I'm gonna pick one and go with it. Let's see. I think I want to go with Pixel being cuddly, because Pixel's a pretty fun character design that I did up for Radian. Yeah. So let me go ahead and pull this image off to the side. Since I didn't specify who they're being cuddly with, I'm gonna do a little anon type of person. Pull the opacity up a little bit more so I can get the basics in. Let's get sort of the big shapes in first. I almost want to have the person being like held like a cat. And squeezed. Like yeah, like this poor little Manon is getting squeezed. Then get the cat needs petting. She has woken up a bit more and decided to be actively asking for pets rather than just passively. The one annoying thing about trying to draw ungulate legs is trying to draw them sitting on the ground. So let's yeah, that works. Functions. That functions, yeah. And let's put this poor person, have their legs dangling out down here. While the other hoof is over here. Your quesadilla had a huge bone in it? That's funky. Guess the chicken that they got, or whatever meat, I'm assuming chicken of some sort, was not thoroughly gone over. Now let's put a head in. Oh yeah, if it was a cow bone, that'd be very concerning. All right. Let me just go ahead and do some horse head anatomy. We want to make sure it's sort of accurate to this weird cartoon web horse. Let's go ahead and turn the opacity down and get a bit more clean on another layer. And I'm on the wrong layer. Of course I am. On a very, like, loud and happy hug. Hair curve in right. Add some cute ears. As well as the rest of the mane. And then the neck. And then her shoulders are sort of ball joints. They're very, very fake, simplified ball joints, but cute all the same. Let me, all right, zoom out. Not exactly how I want to draw it. And that's the frustrating bit. There we go. That's a bit better, I think. Then let's draw our little person. I think I want to reverse the way the eyes are looking. So like they've been surprise glomped. Yeah, that's better. Because the lore for Pixel is that she's like a web program that sort of gained sentience type of dealio. But she's an old web program, so she'd definitely be the type to glomp somebody with their... probably with their permission, but like... you never know. Surprise glomp time. They are being held like kitty cat. Yeah, you are being given affection, do not resist. And then them being squeezed into the chest. I should probably put the rest of the person's back right back here. That makes more sense. This horse was built for hugging, and that's just what she'll do. Put the little feetses in here. That, if we want to continue with the slightly chibi-esque form I've given them, let's make the feet like right there. That fits the proportions a bit more. The kitty cat has been given the attentions. And then let's get this section done up. You got a very squishy build. Robot full of goo, essentially. Especially because I am not a very good, like, hard robot designer. Like, don't try to make me do, like, Gundams or stuff like that. I am not very good at that sort of robot design. I can somewhat pull off, like, sleek robots, but I'm not, like, extremely good at it. Yeah, dull robots for sure. I can manage dulls and dull robot type dealios, but if I gotta do Gundam style stuff, I am out of luck. Let me just... I think I should probably move this hair so that it's less forward. I think I did the head too big, maybe? Yeah, the head might be a bit too big for my design. So let's squeeze it down just a tad. That just made things messy. That looks a little better. Robots are hard, especially if you're looking in the furry demographic. Because it's two different skill sets, you know? You got your mecha, your people who can draw mecha really well, but they cannot draw soft, natural fur. And then you got your people who can draw nice, soft, natural fur. And are, you know, cannot for the life of them draw the hard, sharp mecha. It's just different skill sets. Why am I getting barked at, Kuji? Zoom out. And then last but not least, let's put the tail. I'm gonna adjust. Ooh, that's way too big. Alright. I think that looks good. There we go. I don't know if one artist somehow spec down both furry and mecha trees somehow. There are the occasional people who can do it. Who just, it works for them. They are crazy. So I always stand in awe of folks who can do both. Alright, and I think we're gonna call that good. Radiant's got some. Ooh. We're gonna move it over just a tad so we can fit other things. Hey, Rad! Looks like you jumped in just in time to see your stuff finished. Yee! I gave Pixel a little surprise. They did a little surprise glomp onto a little Anon. There, the Anon is getting squeezed. I don't know. I just put a little chibi in there because I figured, you know, that way it could be anybody and you could use it as like a reaction image. But yeah, time to go ahead and pick us a new victim. Alright, let me just double check how many we got in here. Still 25. Awesome. And spin! It's being really highly weighted this time. Like, all the high numbers are getting picked for some reason. But See who got in right before you, Rad. Late numbers bias today. Squirrel Keeper. Nice. Fox post TF of myself with slight anthropomorphic features like hair maintained. Transformation triggered by a fox totem worn around the neck with the northern lights overhead. Brother Bear inspired. Okay, okay. Let's take a look at... So that's sort of the general, like, expression you're wanting. Got it. And... cute little bear totem. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm grabbing the... I still feel like, you know, I'm going to make sure that folks keep their real life face up. You know, if I have real life references, I prefer to put them on the other screen just because, just for safety reasons for everybody, you know? Alright, let's get some Fox stuff going on. Emojis. Now, pose. I do like that pose. Let's see if we can translate it to something similar with the fox. Maybe a little bit like laying down, but also kind of want... Yeah. Like, I have a... Let's get one paw, like, right there. Tail kind of a little curled because it's confusing. And then one paw up. And let's have my kitty girl requires all the pets. Oh, nope. Now she's leaving. She leaves. She decided she didn't want to be here no more. And I'm thinking the totem's maybe like right there. And we'll do a little... you know, it's not much background, but it's a little bit of background. Get some of the mystical swirlies in the sky. Zoom in. Time to zoom in and get small. Now, we want the general face shape in first of a fox. Let me put that in. In general, foxes have sort of like an upside down bowl. Kind of want sort of like a quiet. Oh. Yeah, that pulling from the reference images, looks like he's got sort of a slight open mouth, like, oh, you know. I need to move this over a touch because I'm kind of doing things wonky. Now let's get some hair on you. Or some hair suggestions. Got a decent side part. Get the ears done up in there. A little more floof to the cheeks. And get the right color, get the right marking stuff in. 'Cause that's how we make it read more as fox rather than like wolf or anything like that. I almost want to do like sort of a eyeshadowy type of dealio. Emphasize that little color variation that foxes usually have. Also, I'm not happy with the way I parted that hair. Let me see what else I can do. Because we definitely want there to be some suggestion of hair, but not a lot. Like, we want it fairly well integrated with the animal. I think that's a little better. Now, foxes are mega floof. Mega floof. But they also have skinny little cat paws. hold on. I'm gonna save this just because I don't want things to disappear unexpectedly, you know? Let's get this saved somewhere real quick. I always forget to do that after, you know, hours into the art. It's a bad habit. I need to set up a auto save so that bad things don't happen. Alright, now let's take a look at these little wood carvings. Here's a nice little rough wood carving. Go. Now, this can be fairly smooth but a little fluffy. Well, this is all this bit gets very fluffy. Sort of laying on your side. Enjoy your breakfast, Kuji. Some good floof going on. I imagine you'd be kind of, your tail would be kind of auto floofed when you wake up spooked from a random transformation into a fox, or you know, not so random. There we go. Add some little northern lights. Dancing around you. Alrighty. What do you think, Squirrel Keeper? Looks good? And of course I'm marking out where the color will be, or well, where the inking will be eventually. Thanks, glad you like it. Alright. And let us see who is next. Definitely weighted to the high numbers. We got 25. 25 of 25. So who got their thing in last? Hey, it looks like Frost. Frost is wanting to be Feather Dragon Transformation, TFTG. Can we do a guy mostly transformed into this character from putting on one of those Kigus? My thinking of it is a scenario of, this is girly but no one will know, but since it's turning them into a girl, they certainly will now, lol. I prefer the Kigu to be mostly intact, but it's cool if the holes are for the tail / wings. I'm thinking he's enough along that he realizes he's becoming the female of the species, and doing that kind of vulnerable, embarrassed expression of a guy that is going to be a rather lovely female from now on. Okay. Let's grab our reference images. Okay. That looks pretty fun. Let's take a look at our other image. Alrighty. Let's see what we can do. Oh, whoops. Not what I need. See if I have space. I am kind of bad at drawing real big and then not leaving myself enough space. Let's shrink-a-dink some folks. Move stuff around. I'm gonna see if I can get my brother, who I think is downstairs, to get me some water. I am getting a little thirsty. Just from chatting so much. So. Let me just do some cleanup real quick on this bottom layer. I'm going to send him a text. If I can find my phone. Oh, there it is. I'm just sending him a quick text and then I'll get going. Okay, text sent. Hopefully, I will get libation soon. Alright. So we got our references over here. Ah, he said can do. Lovely. My brother is nice. Very nice. Most of the time. Okay, so let us start with sort of a base underlying form. I kind of have him, I think I'd have like a sort of a oops, sort of embarrassed look. Thank you, brother of mine, for glorious water. Got splashed. Ah. I've been revived. And just sort of have them on their feet at the moment, standing. One of the fun tricks about Kigus, if you know the like general body forms, you can kind of get away with just being very lazy and drawing the Kigu over top without having to like super visualize it, because most of them are pretty squishy. Although, I guess I'm not that good, because I was gonna do that, but I'm like, no, let's get a little more meat on the bones, so I can focus on proper volumes and shapes. I'm saying Kigus. Kigus are squishy. Squishy in form. Now let's start by getting this dragon neck in.
I could totally do that. The upright quadruped arm dangle. I can do that. It's gonna have one arm kind of like covering their face a bit. Let's get that paw in the right place first, though. I think let me put these horns and ear in the right spot. Now it looks like we got sort of a and then a curve up, and that's how it would look from this angle. Get some forelock hair sort of cascading down. As well as floof up this face. Get a little bit of a cute mane going. Get a little extra chest floof as well, peeking out top of the kigu. Now to get the now to have fun and get the kigu design done up, which is nice because this is the squishy part. Squishy part. Most of these things are made out of like fleece.
And our pretty just like unisex. All right, and then so let's do the tummy markings in a different color fabric on the Kigu. Some little horns. A little bit of tornness. As well as some wings. I imagine these wings are a little scruffy because they're still coming in. I have one back here too, just sort of trying to figure itself out. Then get some toe beans going on. And I'm gonna add some little soft plush, soft plush spikes. Maybe some torn up, like soft wing. Yeah, something like that. Because I imagine that would have been part of the design of the Kigu. Now it's just kind of hanging limply back there. That is not a good curve. That's in a better curve. And then there's that little fluffy tail tip. That you enjoy adding to specify, oh, this is a girl. Then some actual dragon. I'm gonna get this a little bit deeper. Make that connect a bit better. I keep leaning over my keyboard and accidentally pressing the buttons I don't want to press. Such is the pain. I know a decent of you are like, I want boobs. You don't want boobs. Boobs are troublesome. Boobs are tricky. They do stupid stuff like press buttons when you're not looking. Alright. Let me add like a little zipper here, I think. And that should be good for that one, actually. That one went by real fast. What do you think, Frost? Cute? Cute, cute? Legitimately, if I had a way to, like, Venmo a trans lady my boobs, I would do it in a heartbeat. You can have them. I don't want them. Very cute. I'm glad you like it, Frost. Let me put that. Put your name right there. And let's see who our next victim is. Pop, pop, pop. Sadly, no. Sadly, not yet. Alright. Let me double check, make sure we haven't... Oh, we got some new one. Number 26. So let's up the input. And spin. Finally, in the lower numbers. In the lower half, at least. Okie doke. Avery. Nice, nice. Avery wants post-TF of Avery with all the wings, excluding the hip hugs and Hermes Angel Plague time. Alright, alright. This is gonna be my own art. Yep. Okay. So let's grab the Avery. Alrighty. Cute beans, cute beans. Put them over here. And I guess, you know, having a month dedicated to Angel Plague got it on people's minds. Let's do sort of just a nice simple pose so we can show off all the wings. Then is Avery in the chat? I ask because I would need to double check with them on character design, because as you can see, we only got a headshot, and I know that sometimes Avery wants their character drawn with boobs and sometimes not, so it's a very important question to ask. But I'll get started on what I can do for right now. Let me actually go on top layers. We'll figure out boobs or no boobs later. I can always add boobs to characters. Some leggies going. I'm not happy with the way this shoulder is connecting to the body. So that's a bit better. Whoa. Yep. See, there we go again. Let's put a hand here. Clean up. A little bit. I'm gonna curve this in just a touch. There we go. Like, I feel like I'm having shoulder troubles here. Go better. Hey Avery, good to see you here. It's all right. Just wanted to clarify if you wanted what the boobage situation on your character is, because I know we're working from a head up, and I know you like sometimes boob and sometimes not. So like right now I've got no boob, but yes boob. Okay. Easy. Yes, boob this time. Got it. You got it, boss. Yes, boob, and maybe a little more hip in that case. Let me pull back because I might have. Okay, that looks alright. Yeah, your wing description's understandable. I'm having trouble with this arm placement, though. I'm not happy with it. So, let's pull it in a bit. And start adding some wings. Start with the biggest one, which is probably going to be the tail. Bird tail time. Put that down in the back there. Have a good sleepy times. And then also did want the harpy. So that's some little wing arms up here. And over on this side as well. Get them matching. Alright, I'm still playing around with this torso because it's not making me happy. And then get some seraph wings going on. And some halo. Alright. I almost want to do like a layer over top of this layer. So let me pull it onto its own separate thing. Go. I'm glad you're enjoying Angeled Kuji. I will warn you, drawing that many wings and feathers does get taxing. So prepare yourself. I'm getting a bit. I gotta get in close. It's my dumb artist trait. I tend to get in way too close. And just, like, I'm that type of artist that you see just like completely curled around their art as they're trying to do stuff. Let's scooch this back a little bit. That feels better. And then get the neck in. Get my little standard shading. And let's get started on some crazy wings. Now, probably do want this hair flip in front of the wings because it makes it easier to not have to draw the base of where it connects to the head. It can be a bit tricky. You have to make sure to have your hair under a separate layer and your head shape underneath so that you know where you're going. It's like you definitely need the structure there. Although I think I made this hair a bit too up. Yeah. Halo wings are fun, but I bet the reason that you probably didn't is because your character already has, already has cat ears, which probably would end up looking just a little cluttered up there. So, obviously, both ways are valid. Yep. Having too many things on the head can be a problem. So it's understandable why you didn't opt for the head wings. They do indeed make putting hats on hard. Okay, and then they've got like a jacket on over top. Oops. Wrong way. So let's get that going. Okay, I think I need to pull the hairline down just a touch. Just a touch. I went overboard with the hairline. Like, one of the hairlines is kind of dramatic, but not that dramatic. Needs to be a bit lower down on the head. Maybe a bit more in the a bit more like right here. Okay. Look at the overall again. Not horrible. Okay. Alright, jacket time. Part of this is hair, and part of it is hoodie. We need to make that clear. I'm gonna make the jacket like a cropped jacket, if simply so that we can show off their arms more. I'm gonna make it like a little bit cute and oversized. But not too horribly big, you know? Just rolled up sleeves so that we can see the wings easier. I imagine there's all sorts of kerfuffleness going on in the back, trying to make it an accessible jacket. some hands in. Still got that dog in ya. One, two, three, four. I think I might pull this back a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I'll look at it from the... Okay, still looking alright. Then let's get some claw fingers in. Have this one over here in the background. Then let's get some of the back wings going. I could do that. I can definitely add a bit more of a subtle smile in there. Let me focus on this one first, though. I'm half tempted to do a skirt, but I'm also like... That'd probably be tricky with the tail. I want to do the tail maybe a little more out. A little more prominent. Does that look cute? Not really. I'm not happy with that. Kind of tempted to just take this and pull it down. Control Z, whatever I did. Select, deselect. Control T. Sort of make it a sweater dress, you know? With some leggings on. That'd be cute. Sweater dress with some leggings. And then some like cute large socks. Maybe some of those like chunky sneakers. I think that looks cute. Pull back a bit. Nice. I am happy with that. Well, maybe I can do a little bit more shaping up here, actually. Just a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Like make it an actual dress type of deal. Okay. And there we go. All done. All right, let's see what we got. So we have about 15 more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that Squirrel Keepers got their slight smile going on. Zoom way the heck in. And give a little smile to the eyes, little smize. Zoom back out. And do I want to start another one knowing that I won't finish it? Or do I go ahead and maybe do just like a silly little doodle? What are your guys' opinions? Should I go ahead and roll the dice or just do a little doodle? Because, again, I will definitely not finish whoever gets rolled here in stream. Space filling Zoroark? Silly doodle? Okay. Okay, we'll give it a roll. Still got 26 ones, so let's see who we get. Number 8. Who is lucky number 8? Hey, it's Ro! Woohoo! Alright. So Ro, my human Sona Ro turning into a Zeroa Clothion after spilling water on a power bar looking shocked at the change. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull up some images. Like I said, I will not be able to finish this, or probably I will only get a very basic sketch here in the last little bit. But I will finish it out during my, when I go to ink stuff. Aurora Pokemon. Need to make sure I have the right images. It could be funny to see you sticking a fork in an outlet. That would be fun. Very silly, if you want. Okay. Let's do the thing your mom told you not to do. Let me just put that layer percentage up a little bit so I can see. And then gonna have, like I said, very basic sketch at this point. Almost want to have them like kind of sprawled out on the floor with the fork right here, and make the hair a little messy, of course, to be like, okay, I did just get shocked. There's that big old tail. Then they got them chunky thighs. That's the whole design of this Pokemon, is chunky thighs. And a little bit of... we got one hand on the ground. One paw on the ground. Put the electrical outlet right here. Then we're all about the puns here, baby. We get shocked and get shocked. Now, like I said, very... Let's get very kind of a little bit more frazzly than the actual Pokemon design. Just so we can be like, okay, guess they really get poofed. Let's get some of Ro's recognizable clothes on so we know who it is. It might be fun to add some long hair. Some long, very poofed hair at the moment. Okay, here's our collar. And here's that shirt design. And the big sleeves. Ah. The boobs are being mean again. I am gonna have this undersleeve kind of busted, because I mean, those are pretty big forearms, you know. They would have busted that shit up. And then rest of the outfit. Just some regular pants. I'm also imagining these get a little fried into shorts. That way we can show off more of the Pokemon design. A little bit of cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and put your name on it prematurely just so I can remember. Because I've got about 7 more minutes. Let's see if I can nail down this Pokemon's face. Okay, so we've got a very kitty shape. It's got little teepees. And a very teeny kitty nose. And we definitely want to cartoon exaggerate things a bit here. And then got like double lightning whiskers. Gonna add, like I said, that extra poof. And then the head shape kind of goes like triangle. Triangle with kitty ears. Then we've got sort of like a little nose bit. And this big swoopy goes all the way from the nose bit up to the top of the head. And let's get the rest of this head shape in. And figure out how we're going to integrate the regular row hair. Thinking we just kind of like have it all back. Because again, we do want to look a little frazzled. I'm sure it'll smooth down into something manageable eventually. All right, we have 2 more minutes, so again, I'll try and get as much as I can do in the next couple of minutes, but this will definitely not be complete before end of stream. All right. Let's add a couple more little floofs in here, sort of overhanging the shirt. I'm glad you all are enjoying them. Okay. Thanks. I'm glad you guys like it. Got a decent amount done. And felt pretty good on all of them, you know? There's some streams where you're just like, ugh, I'm not feeling this particular drawing. It's not working well for me. And then you have to sort of save it in post. But no, all the ones here flowed pretty freely today. So, all right, and that is time. Thank you all for being here. It's been a blast. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Whoa, fit screen. And I can't wait to see you guys later. I am ready to go take a nice nap. You guys have a good night. Bye.